What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing here in the Gold Division. Some of the best drivers around the world will battle it out here down under for the Australian Grand Prix. So, who's going to be first out the pit lane to settle that? We shall find out. I can see this being a very, very good race. And we do have movement in the Red Bull garage. Is that Ariel or Merckx? Both Red Bull drivers are reserved today, and it is Ariel, the South African driver. So a little bit more movement. I think that is a Ferrari coming out. It's Kazi, who's one of the best drivers around the world at the moment. Kazi is absolutely unbelievable, and it should be fantastic to see him race here tonight. And I fully expect him to be right at the top. Ariel, who was very close to winning. He got the fastest lap in the Silver Division, so he's definitely got the pace around here. So I was just trying to burn some of that fuel off, just to make that car a little bit lighter before he goes for that lap. The cars is just coming around as well. What are your predictions for the race, everybody? Verstappen is out in the Alpine. He definitely needs to be in a Red Bull. So Ariel will be the first driver in the Gold Division to set a lap here around Melbourne. And Mr. Poem, we know he's not the quickest driver, like he's very quick, but he, compared to the Gold drivers, he's not, you know, right up there, but he's still there. But he got P2 last week, which is absolutely incredible, in his debut Gold race. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do again here this evening. So we are on board with Ariel, the Red Bull driver, for our first flying lap around the Australian Grand Prix. Down towards turn 1 we go, through the start-finish line and in towards turn 1. Over the curb at turn 1, slides, loses the rears. Oh, he's onto the grass. And that was not a good start for the Red Bull driver. Now on to Kazi, who's starting his flying lap. The Scuderia shoots down towards turn 1. And over the curb. Oh, he's invalidated it. Nobody's having any luck here. And Kazi has invalidated on his first run. It's all down to Verstappen now in the Alpine, who is going to get us underway. We've had 2 turn 1s and 2 failed lap attempts. So it is going to be down to the Alpine of M. Verstappen. And down towards the start-finish line. And the Alpine driver will start his lap in towards turn 1. Is he going to get it right? In towards turn 1. There we go. Through turn 2 we go. And down the first of the 3 DRS straights, getting a nice little slipstream, a nice toe off the McLaren as it goes down towards turn 3. Nice and tight to the chicane, goes out wide and then cuts back in over turn 4. And then you just want to go full throttle through here, in towards turn 5. And then down towards turn 6. Over the curb at turn 6, slipping and sliding. That was brilliant. Through turn 8 we go. And they've really opened this up now. And you can see a lot more overtakes and even more DRS as that rear wing is open for the Alpine as it goes down towards turn 9 and 10. Through turn 10 and down towards turn 11 we go. In towards turn 11, over the curve. This is a really good lap from the Alpine. In towards turn 12. Full throttle using that outside curb and then into the left-handed hairpin that is turn 13. A slight judder on the steering wheel as he comes out of turn 14. Down towards the start-finish line for the Alpine of M. Verstappen. Where's he going to go? And it's a 1:16.8. That is your benchmark here in the Gold Division. We've got the House of Thai Siesta, the Season 6 World Champion, who's going to be next. The Dutch driver to the line we go. It's a 1:17.3. The Thai Siesta, the McLaren is just starting his flying lap. I think that is Sergio Silva. And Cars has invalidated it, so a lot of drivers are struggling. B-Right is on an outlap, getting ready to go. Lewis also on an outlap. So he's on an outlap. I'm going to try and find the other driver. So the Williams of Ben Shawley is also on a lap. So we'll see what he can do. Through. Oh, wow. He was really on the limit then, Ben Shawley. But it was a nice line. And the Williams driver comes through turn 14. Down towards the start-finish line. He is throwing that Williams around this track. To the line, it's a 1:17.5. And it's only P3 for the Williams. Timmy, P2 for Timmy, a 1:16.9 for the other Scuderia. There's a couple of drivers coming into the line. There's another Alpine, I think that is, of Ulster, who just started his flying lap. And then Sergio Silva in the McLaren just coming around turn 13 and 14 now. Yellow flags waving as the drivers are just getting out of the way of each other. Down towards the finish line for Sergio Silva. And the Portuguese driver goes up to P5, who is reserving today. The Haas, where is the Haas? That is Tyres on an in-lap. And then we have the two AlphaTauris, both on outlaps. One of the AlphaTauris unable to race today. B-Right, the three-time world champion. We're down towards turn 13. What can the Aston Martin driver do? Can he pull it out of the bag? Out of turn 14, down towards the finish line. What about B-Right? It's a 1:17.6. And it is P5 from the Aston Martin driver. CPI Henke's in the pit lane, so we go on board with the British driver of Lewis W. Out of turn 14, down towards the line for the Alfa Romeo driver, and it's a 1:17.9. He will want to improve on that. The Williams is coming in. We've got a Red Bull as well for an outlap. That is Ariel going again. Oakster is going to be next to the line. Here comes the Alpine to the line, and it's P6, a 1:17.6. So, I think there's another driver. That's a couple of McLarens. I think that is Cars, who's on an outlap, who's going to be next. But there is a couple of drivers also on laps. We've got Vixen in the AlphaTauri. Reese is round. Reese has lost it at turn 10. The AlphaTauri driver pushing to the absolute limits, but luckily he is still in this race. Sarpel has joined. I didn't actually know what Sarpel was doing. He never told me he was joining through qualifying, so I didn't even know he was racing. I just didn't think he'd turned up. The communications not great in gold at the moment. Reese goes into the pit lane. Cars and Ariel on laps. CPI Henke is finally on an outlap. Cars, he's back out in the Ferrari, who invalidated it at turn 1. Cars in the McLaren, coming round turn 8. Oh, Sarpel has left. He's not picked a car, he just left. I hate sending invites during the race. Keep sending a load of invites. So, Cars. Cars goes up to P3 at 1:17.1. What a lap from Cars. What about Merckx and the Red Bull? The Aston Martin is coming through as well. A Poem who's starting his flying lap. And it is going to be Merckx, I think, that is going to be next. We do have Carsy on an outlap just getting ready as well. Ariel Cars went up to P3. What a lap from him. It's not even showing you online, mate. Oh, there you are. So, Merckx in towards turn 14 we go for the Red Bull driver. Can Merckx pull it out the bag? The Red Bull reserve here in Melbourne. Down towards the line we go. Merckx with a 1:20.0 and he's down to P12. Natmobile in the Mercedes is also on the lap. Kazi in the Ferrari. Henke in the Alfa Romeo, but Kazi is just in front. These are two very quick drivers who will be at the top of this board, and we're about to find out where they will sit on this grid. 7 minutes to go. It's a purple sector 2 for the Ferrari driver who's absolutely flying. The team from Maranello, Kazi on board. In towards turn 12 we go. Nice and tight to the chicane, using that left-hand curve to his advantage. Through turn 13 for the Scuderia. Verstappen has gone even quicker, a 1:16.5 from the Alpine. But this is going to be very close for Kazi in the Ferrari to the line. It's a 1:16.6, it's P2. Henke goes into the pit lane. He invalidated it, he made a huge mistake. Here comes Natmobile in the Mercedes with 6 minutes to go. To the line goes the Mercedes, it's a 1:17.7 and it's P10. Merckx in the Red Bull. He's going to try and improve. Reese is coming through sector 1. We will go on board with the AlphaTauri driver as he slips and slides through turn 4 and 5. In towards sector 2 we go. The drivers are starting to put it all on the line now. Sarpel with his debut race here in the Williams. Reese in the AlphaTauri. This is a really nice lap. He's got that Ferrari behind him. We will soon see where the pace of the AlphaTauri holds up against the other drivers. Powen went at 1:18.1 as well in the Aston Martin. But it's all on Reese coming in towards turn 14. And up towards the line for V10 Reese. To the line, it's a 1:17.2 and it's only P6. I mean, I say only, what an incredible lap, but he will have more in the tank, without a doubt. Oh, sorry guys, I thought I muted my mic. I don't like drinking down the mic. So we're on board with Ulster. Let's see what he can do. Down towards turn 1 we go. The Alpine driver over turn 1 and in towards turn 2. That was a nice line through there for Ulster. That rear wing is open as he shoots down towards turn 3. He is very formidable. And he's showing his worth here as he goes round turn 5 and down towards 6 and 7. A little bit of traffic in front of the Alpine driver who moves out of the way. Nicely done from the drivers through turn 8 and down the DRS straight. A bit more traffic coming up. He's got to be resilient here. Here comes Ulster. The traffic is in the way, but just backs out and moves out of his way in towards turn 9 and 10 for the Alpine driver. That was a great line. More cars moving out of the way for Ulster in the Alpine as he comes down towards turn 11. Great awareness from the rest of the grid as he comes down towards turn 12. This is Ulster's final run. Where can he put it? He's made no mistakes thus far. In towards turn 13 and 14, the final chicane. Here comes Ulster out of the final corner, down towards the start-finish line, and the Alpine driver goes at 1:17.1, and it's only P6. The Ferrari drivers are starting their flying lap. Ben Shawley and the Williams having to navigate through the traffic as well. Sergio Silva in the McLaren also on a lap, but we are on board with the Williams of Ben Shawley. He's currently in P4. It's super close at the moment. The Williams driver in towards turn 11 we go. The Haas just moves out of the way. That timer clock just ticking away. Wow, that was a wide line. Kept that pace going in towards turn 13 and 14. The Williams driver out of the final corner. A slight hiccup. 25 seconds for the rest of the grid. And Ben Shawley stays in P4. He loses time. And the Red Bull drivers are coming through. Ariel and Merckx. Some of the drivers are going to miss the grid here. The AlphaTauri drivers are cutting it very fine. They're coming to the line. Cars might miss it. No, it's Sergio Silva that might miss it. Reese just makes it to the line, and so does the McLaren. Ariel has binned it. Ariel in the Red Bull. No, he's not. He's in the pit lane, so we're going to try and catch up with the leaders. Remember, Henke is yet to set a lap time. The checkered flag has waved here in Melbourne, Australia. Henke through the final corner. The Alfa Romeo driver, Timmy, goes even quicker at 1:16.4. Here comes Henke, only P4. The two Alpines are going to be next. It's going to be Verstappen who is going again. Ulster has crashed. No, he's into the pit lane, I think. Here comes Verstappen. There's a Ferrari driver of Kazi to the line. Kazi at 1:16.5 stays P3. The Alfa Romeo of Lewis W stays P11. We've got a Williams of Ben Shawley coming round as well. Verstappen in the Alpine up towards the line. Verstappen stays in P2. Ben Shawley is into the pit lane. V10 Reese in the AlphaTauri is going to come through the two Aston Martins. Only P13 and P14. Ben Shawley retires in the pit lane. We've got McLaren drivers coming through. That is Cars. And Cars stays P6. What about Reese? This is the big one. Reese and Merckx stays P18. And Reese goes P4. What about YXF? He's spun it on the line. He tries to drive in front of the McLaren on the line. And it is pole position for Timmy. Wow, the Ferrari driver of Timmy takes pole position here in Australia. Only 0.2 of a second separate the top 5 drivers. What an incredible qualifying session. So, on the front row, it is Timmy and Verstappen in the Ferrari and the Alpine. The other Ferrari of Kazi in P3 with Reese in the AlphaTauri P4. Henke in the Alfa Romeo in P5 and Tyres in P6. Ben Shawley in the Williams in P7 and Cars in the McLaren in P8. Sarpel on his debut race qualifies in P9 and Ulster in the Alpine completes your top 10 here in Australia. Well, 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 that is not what the drivers wanted to see. It really isn't. It is absolutely chucking it down. Will it dry up? Can we get a weather update? Is it going to dry up? It's absolutely chucking it down. Wow. That might actually be full wets for these drivers. I'm hoping that it dries up during the race. But these are the conditions that we have been dealt with. We don't need to worry about where the sun's going to be now. This is going to be so difficult going in towards turn 1. I dread to think. I really hope the drivers keep it clean. Here we go for round 16 here at Formula 7 Racing. And it's lights out and away we go. Down towards turn 1 we go. It's ART Timmy that leads. Sarple already through on Cars. Cars is getting all mixed up, in trouble. There's a car that's round. That's the Alpha Tauri, I think, of Reese. It is Reese. Verstappen is staying in P2. Henke is side by side with Cars in the Ferrari. As they go down towards turn 3, the Alfa Romeo goes down the inside of the Scuderia. He loses a position, tries to get it back up the inside. Henke leaves him room. There are wheel-to-wheel action. The Aston Martin of B-Ryan has made up a few positions, and down the inside, and the McLaren spins it into the wall. Goes the three-time world champion. Reese is all the way down to P17. He's got to make a recovery drive as well. It is drama, but not too much drama at the start of this Grand Prix. Here comes Ty Siesta on Ben Shawley in the Williams. The Season 6 world champion of the Haas round the outside is going towards turn 9 and 10. The wheel-to-wheel. The Williams is going to cut back on him. And the old switcheroo from Ben Shawley to go back up to P5. His other Williams teammate is here of Sarple, who's looking for an opportunity to open up. And Sarple is through on tyres, who goes wide and onto the gravel. And here comes the Alpine now, Volster, who nearly clatters into the Haas driver. Making a slight mistake, but Sarple is up 3 places. Henke's up 2, Gazi down 1. Treacherous conditions on the opening lap here in Melbourne. Reese is up to P15. Merckx giving up position. Ariel down 6 places. And so is the Aston Martin of B-Right, who is going to have to pit and get that front wing replaced here. And Max Verstappen has gone wide and opened up the door for Henke. And now here comes Kazi, the Ferrari driver on the Alpine. Is up into the podiums. Nearly gets whacked by Verstappen, and nearly again. Verstappen making a couple of mistakes. Hopefully doesn't have damage. Wow, round the outside go the 2 Williams. Sarple is going to take his opportunity as well. They've collided. Oh, the Williams of Verstappen causing loads of issues. There's a huge pile-up. That is Ben Shawley in the Williams that is round. Verstappen has took out Sarple as well. Verstappen has took out both Williams drivers. Henke into the lead of this Grand Prix and is through on Timmy in the Scuderia. Cars is through on Boehm. Natmobile in the Mercedes is up 10 places. What an unbelievable start to this Grand Prix. Natmobile and Verstappen. Wheel to wheel, the Alpine just pushing the Mercedes out wide. There's nothing to separate them, but the Mercedes will back out into the next chicane. Down towards turn 13 they go. The Mercedes still on the rear diffuser of the Alpine in front. Ty Siesta on Boehm, round the outside goes the Haas, and then down the inside of turn 14. And Ty Siesta back up to P11, pushes the Aston Martin out wide. And Cars in the McLaren on the rear diffuser of the Alfa Romeo in front. Will he try and lunge down the inside as they go in towards turn 1? The McLaren will try and make the move. They've collided. The McLaren is round. Cars is round. A huge collision. V10 Reese is already back up to P8 and now chasing down the Alfa Romeo. It is all action. And the old switcheroo from Reese. That is gorgeous. Can he do it again? He switches back again. He's got the better grip, got the better exit. We'll go round the outside. Lewis will leave in the room. We know Lewis is a very, very good driver. And that is how you race. Now Vixen is next. Verstappen already with a 3-second time penalty. Remember, no DRS. Henke is now your race leader. He didn't qualify on pole, but that has not stopped the man from chasing down the pack. And Sarpo on his debut race is round in the Williams. Ariel is through on his teammate of Merckx. The two Red Bulls switch places. Sergio Silva having a great race up to P12. Poem up 3 places. Ties Vixen in the AlphaTauri losing 2 places. Make that 3 if Sergio Silva can go round the outside. Can he hang it round the outside of turn 10? He can't. Vixen stays just in front. Timmy still chasing down Henke. We are on lap 3. It feels like 33. Wow. Oh, there's a little bit of a pile-up. And Merckx goes into the back of his own teammate. That was all the drivers sort of stopped on the corner there. Now Ariel will chase down that McLaren. Can he make the move in towards turn 1? The Red Bull goes to the right. And he will move in front of the McLaren of Sergio Silva, the Portuguese driver. South Africa 1, Portugal 0 at the moment. Sarpo is into the pit lane and retires, so his debut race doesn't go as planned. That's not very good, it really isn't. Kazi is through on his teammate of Timmy, and Timmy looks like he's made a huge mistake, and Kazi has capitalised and made the move on his teammate. YXF is out. A VSC it is, but he has binned it coming round turn 14. That's a crazy place to lose it. That's another DNF for YXF. And Sarpo, I'm not sure what Sarpo, what was the point really. So that is a VSC, and Kazi has caught up to Henke a lot here. All the tyres, every driver on intermediates. But yeah, for me, I don't really get when drivers... Oh, it's a full course safety car. That is very, very strange. It was just a VSC and it's turned into a full course safety car. So Kazi has pitted. He's through on Henke. Oh, Henke stayed out. Is that a good decision from Henke? All the drivers are going to pit. Oster's going to stay out. So is Natmobile. It's only lap 4. I don't understand why that full safety car has come out. Oh, is Natmobile going to beat the Ferrari? He is. Natmobile gets in front of Kazi. Yeah, I really can't understand why that safety car's come out. Sorry guys, I was just looking at the replay because I wanted to make sure, because the VSC was out and then after about a minute the full course safety car came out. So I was just having a look. It doesn't look like anybody did anything wrong. Doesn't look like... I mean, there's 1 or 2 cars that are going extremely slow as the VSC comes out, as the safety car then comes out. But I, you know, I don't think the drivers would do that. And plus the delta was out as well, so that's why drivers might have been slowing down. So Henke's your race leader. On lap 6, there is a full course safety car. Sarpel on his debut race. Just retired in the pit lane. Not a great debut for him. Oh, Ariel says there's probably going to be rain the whole race. Merckx is letting everybody through. I like that from Merckx. Doesn't want to hinder anybody. But let's just have a look at tyres now. So every driver is pitted barring the front three and Sergio Silva. So that's very interesting, and it's going to get tasty as well. Safety car is in this lap. Oh, Natmobile's got a 5-second penalty for a collision with Ulster. Has he gone into the back of him? That is not good for the McLaren driver. Oh, nearly hits him again. Leave each other space, guys. No need to be so close. So Natmobile colliding with the Alpine. Got a 5-second penalty. It will be Henke that leads the safety car restart here in Australia. Look how close Ulster is as well. They are going extremely slow. He wants to get a good restart. Oh, he's going very slow, down to around 36 mph before he then set off. That was very, very dangerous actually. Henke gets going. He's already a second clear of Ulster. Wow, what a restart from Henke. Maybe on the borderline. Maybe on the borderline penalty that. But we carry on, and it is Kazi that is on the back of Natmobile in the Mercedes, who's struggling on the older intermediate tyres. Henke already 1.7 clear, and Ulster hit the wall there. That is Sergio Silva in the McLaren who's getting swallowed up. There goes Rees around the outside, the Alpha Tauri driver of V10 Rees. Back down the inside now, Lewis W in the Alfa Romeo is going to be next, but the drivers just have to be a little bit patient here. Kazi on the back of the Mercedes of Natmobile. On lap 7, 22 to go. And round the outside goes Kazi. What about Verstappen? He will make a move as well. And the Ferrari and the Alpine making moves on the Mercedes in towards turn 8. Sorry, turn 9 and 10. My mistake. Here comes AERT Timmy in the Ferrari on Natmobile in the Mercedes. Natmobile will lunge back down the inside and pushes that Ferrari way wide there. And that could have ended in disaster. The Ferrari driver will go round the outside again, and Natmobile spun in into the wall he goes. The Mercedes driver into the wall. He will have to recover from there. Oh, he's not doing himself any favours. And he does the old 360, and he will carry on. Henke 2.5 clear of Ulster. Oh, what does Natmobile do now? You got to feel for him. Really unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He's going to go into the pit lane, and what he does from there, I do not know. But anything can happen in this race with 21 laps to go. Let me tell you, I crashed out. I got took out, and that's Sergio Silva down to P12, just getting swallowed up by the drivers. B-Right goes through as well. I got took out and broke my front wing at the start of the race, ended up in P20 and won the race, so you never know here. V10 Rees with a 3-second time penalty, that's going to be very costly. Kazi is now on the back of Ulster. Ben Shirley is through on Vixen. The Williams driver, here comes Kazi. Round the outside of Ulster, and the Alpine is to go down towards turn 9 and 10. And the Ferrari driver of Kazi is through. He is 3.2 behind Henke now. A bit squirrely there goes Ulster, and Verstappen is through on his teammate. Down towards turn 11. And the Alpine driver chasing him down. B-Right is through on Vixen. He now has Ben Shirley and the Williams in front of him. Poem on the back of Sergio Silva. Remember, Sergio is going for that one stop. The other drivers will probably have to do the two stop. So Kazi already pulling that gap down to Henke. V10 Reese on AERT Timmy. I'm just going to call him Timmy because it's a bit of a mouthful. When I'm on form it's alright, but when I'm not it's like ugh. B right on Ben Shirley. The B right, the Aston Martin driver on Ben Shirley in the Williams. And then they have Vixen in the AlphaTauri, who've got a great exit out of turn 2. And he is going to go for the move. The AlphaTauri driver just thinks better of it and backs out. Here comes Timmy on Ulster. He is right behind the Alpine, looking for a way round. And the Ferrari driver will go into turn 6 and 7. Through turn 8 and then in towards that DRS, but they won't have it because of the rain, and the Alpine made a slight mistake, and now Timmy will look for the move. They've also got Reese there as well who's watching on. They're going to go 3 wide in towards turn 9 and 10. Can they go 3 wide? The Ferrari is in front. Timmy Ulster, Reese goes off. Reese is into the wall. Ulster is onto the grass. Reese is into the wall. Lewis is up to P6. Ty's up to P5, and Timmy has been left free. Reese, that is the second time he's been taken out now. He's got no damage, which is good, but he's all the way to the back of this grid for the second time in 9 laps. Natmobile and the Mercedes at the back just doing his own thing now. Got to make a comeback. Reese already made one comeback. He's going to have to do it all over again. Also, he's into the pit lane. Did he get damage? Oh, speeding. Yeah, he's just going to retire, even though he's in the points and he's got no damage. I'm going to have a look at the drivers that just keep retiring every week in the pit lane. I'm going to have a look at them because it's just pointless, man. It's like drivers coming in for the debut, just joining halfway through qualifying like it's okay, and then just retiring before lap 4. It's just, honestly, like, we put so much time and effort and money into making this one of the best leagues around the world, and it's just so frustrating when people just take the mick. And I really feel for drivers that are struggling and just keep getting taken out as well. Ariel is through on Sergio Silva, the Red Bull on the McLaren. Sergio Silva has made a mistake. I know, Reese, I know. Verstappen in the Alpine is still chasing down Kazi. Kazi is now only 2.4 behind Henke in the Alfa Romeo. So the race still all to play for. Poland could get another points finish. He's on the back of Vixen in the AlphaTauri. The Aston Martin driver. Oh, the Vixen goes wide and he pays the penalty literally for it. And now Poem is going to get a better exit. The Aston Martin driver right over the back of the AlphaTauri. He did get a good exit. He will use a bit of that battery. Vixen has got a lot as well, so he's going to match him. Pace for pace in towards turn 1, and Poem will stay behind for another lap. Merckx is there in the Red Bull as well. Yeah, no worries, Ulster. It's alright, mate. If the internet's bad, it's bad. Yeah, I'd rather you retire than stay on track if it's causing issues, mate. Don't worry. So, Poem on the back of Vixen. The Aston Martin driver on the back of the AlphaTauri is still unable to get that overtake done. Down towards turn 6 and 7, through turn 7 and down towards 8. Oh, the AlphaTauri pushing the Aston Martin really wide there. Vixen giving absolutely no room to the Aston Martin, and they are literally side by side going in towards turn 9 and 10. The AlphaTauri goes down the inside, squabbling with the Aston Martin, pushes Poem back out and just about stays in front. Now here comes Merckx in the Red Bull to get involved. In towards turn 11. And Poem is finally through. Vixen made a huge mistake, and Merckx even gets through as well. Just Keep going, Reese. Keep going, mate. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. We're not even halfway through. That's a yellow flag. Safety car. Verstappen has gone into the wall and lost his front wing. You never know what's going to happen. May, thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it. That is a safety car on lap 12 and all for a front wing of the Alpine that is missing. That is saved Verstappen, actually. When the safety car comes out for a driver losing their front wing, the only person it benefits is themselves. Because now he's not going to lose any positions and he gets to pit and repair his front wing. He might lose a few positions to the drivers behind because they've obviously got to change his front wing. Max struggling in rainy conditions, yeah, that is. So he will have to pit now, but it will bunch everybody back up. Reese is back into the pit lane for them fresh intermediate tyres. He is back in this race. It would be an unbelievable drive if Reese was to be able to get anything out of this race after being sent to the back of the grid twice. But Henke, this is great for Henke because he stayed out under the first safety car. He can now pit and get onto fresh tyres. So Timmy will pit as well. Verstappen will go into the pit to get that front wing changed. Tyres is going to be there. Tyres has stayed out. Wow. Ben Shirley's into the pit lane. So is Lewis. Cars and Ben Shirley. Cars has stayed out as well. Wow. So a few different choices here. And Cars is going to try and get out in front of Henke. Does he? Oh, he goes off the grass. He's trying to get through. There was a bit of a lag with Oster leaving. Verstappen, where's he going to come out? He's going to come out behind Lewis and Ben Shirley. So all the drivers have pitted. So Tyres is your race leader. We've not seen that for a while. I'm just going to get a glass of water, guys. So we are still going. Lap 13. We're nearly halfway through this race. Not just yet, though. So if Henke wins and gets the fastest lap, he is the world champion for the very first time. I don't know who's currently got the fastest lap. Is there any way Henke cannot win? So is that the only way he can win with the race winning fastest lap? So he could become the world champion for the very first time. I'm just going to have a look now at the championship and just have a look at. So he is 86 points in front with 3 races and a sprint race to go after this. No, 4 races and a sprint race, so what's that? 112 with fastest laps in each race. So 112 points would be available if he wins this race. Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah. He needs to get the race winner fastest lap because Senjo isn't racing. So Henke does actually need the race winner fastest lap. Yeah, you're right, Reese. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So if Henke gets the fastest lap and wins this race, he is world champion. Safety car is in this lap. That's some exciting news. Could Henke do it with 4 races to spare? It would be the earliest that any driver has become world champion here in the Gold Division. So Henke on the back of tyres. Look at this. The man bidding to win the World Championship behind a current World Champion. The Season 6 World Champion of Ty Siesta, and off they go. Cars slipping and sliding. The man who retired last week but can reserve this week, Poem, is through on Merckx. They are squabbling going down in towards turn 1. It's getting very tight. Reese is through on Sergio Silva. Sergio Silva coming back through. Reese will try the old switcheroo on the McLaren and times it to perfection. And now is his teammate, and Henke is into leading this Grand Prix. Ty's trying to come back at him. The side by side goes the Alfa Romeo and the Haas. It's Henke and Ty Siesta, the man bidding to be the world champion and a former world champion. It is Henke that moves into this lead. Kazi is on the back of cars. What a mouthful. The McLaren and the Ferrari. Timmy is there. Ben Shorley. It's going down here in Melbourne. Verstappen in the Alpine is onto the grass and he's struggling. He's round. He nearly loses it. He's given an opportunity to be right. Another world champion. The 3-time world champion just clatters into him from the Alpine. Verstappen being very tasty there. Kazi is through on cars. Down in towards turn 9 and 10. Timmy is through on the McLaren as well. Ben Shorley is through and cars and the McLaren is round. Ben Shorley wiped out another driver. He gets 3 out of 3. The Alpine driver has got B right at the side of him in the Aston Martin. He goes onto the gravel, into the wall goes the Alpine. Verstappen just could not save that. He has had battles with everyone today, Verstappen. Tyres is now 2.2 behind Henke. Kazi is going to make light work of this Haas driver. Here comes the Ferrari. Henke sets the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. It couldn't happen, could it? It couldn't. Ben Shorley on Timmy. Lewis W on the back of B right, who's now up to P6, showing why he's the 3-time world champion. Reese is back into the points, unbelievably. Verstappen retires. And there goes Ty Siesta and Kazi side by side. The Ferrari driver will go down the inside. And Kazi is up to P2. And Timmy lunges down as well, following his Ferrari teammate through the pack. So Reese up to P9. Here comes Ben Shorley on the Haas. Verstappen just was involved in every incident this evening. Here comes Ben Shorley on tyres. Round the outside goes the Williams driver on the Haas. And they are proper scrapping it out through that DRS zone down towards turn 9. But the Haas has got more straight line speed and there's nothing the Williams can do about it. And nearly clatters into the back of the Haas driver. The Haas is so slow, but Ben Shorley is so impatient. And the Williams driver is through. Yeah, Verstappen in the Alpine and lunges down goes Tyres later on the brakes, but the old switchback from the Williams is gorgeous and nearly loses the rears there. They're literally side by side. Here comes B right and through goes the Aston Martin. And the Haas and the Alfa Romeo of Lewis W. Tyres getting swallowed up a little bit here on them older tyres. Henke sets the other fastest lap of the race again. Here comes the Haas of Ty Siesta on Lewis W. He is not giving this up. Lewis W will have to switch it back. And he absolutely does. What an overtake from Lewis W. Spectacular. Tyres is struggling to keep them tyres, keep the grip into them tyres now. He's going to try and lunge down the inside of Poem. He goes for it again, up to P8. Can Poem reverse it? Just like Lewis did. Tyres playing very defensive here. Merckx is in the top 10. This is brilliant. V10 Reese back up to P7. So yeah, Verstappen involved in a few incidents, took out a few drivers and then called it a day. Very unlucky for him. Went into the wall. Kazi goes over the chicane there. And the gap is now 4 seconds. The master in the rain, that is CPI Henke. Merckx on the back of tyres. Remember, he's on older tyres. Reese with the comeback. I've said it again, and I will say it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If Reese gets anything out of this race, anything significant out of this race, even if he loses positions from start to finish, he will be in line for driver of the day with this. Twice sent back to P20. Oh, that's a Red Bull! That was Ariel, I think, that nearly lost it. But this is V10 Reese that is through on Lewis. And up to P6 he goes. The Alfa Romeo is going to try and come back down the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Lewis, W and Reese. Reese will try and switch it back. Can he do exactly what he did previous lap? He can't. He cannot make it stick this time. But it is so close between the Alfa Romeo and the Alfa Tauri. Timmy is gone through on Kazi. Kazi has made a huge mistake. And the two Ferraris swap positions, and Timmy is up to P2, but he is 5.6 seconds off the Alfa Romeo, who at the moment will be crowned world champion here in the Gold Division for the very first time. Reese will try and go around the outside, but he will pull out. He's a very good driver, Reese. UFRL Merckx still trying to make that overtake on tyres. 8 lap older tyres for the Haas. Here comes the Red Bull. Will he lunge down the inside? Backs out. Good racing from Merckx. Natmobile is still in this race, unbelievably. And Ariel and Sergio Silva, cars in the McLaren after that collision with Ben Shawley. Here comes Merckx. Henke with the fastest lap of this race again. The gap is now 6.1. He is 10 laps away from being crowned world champion. That is Reese once again on Lewis W. So the Alfa Romeo conceding position to the Alfa Tauri for the second lap in a row. But can he get it back just like he did on lap 18? Merckx on tyres. He's got to get this move done. Tyres is so good at defending. That's the reason he's the Season 6 world champion. Because he's got the pace, but he's very tactical, and his race IQ is up there with some of the best. And the Red Bull will go through turn 5 and down towards turn 6 and 7. B Wright is through on Ben Shawley. Wow, Ben Shawley must have made a mistake there because he's a second behind B Wright. And B Wright is up to P4. What a drive for the Aston Martin. The current world champion. He will not retain his crown, but he is still the current world champion until about 10 laps time if it stays like this. And then he will be handing over that baton. Here comes Merckx. Natmobile through on Vic. Sorry. Hopefully Merckx did not get damage on tyres there, who slipped his rears out and clattered into the Red Bull. Natmobile and Vixen. This is a four-way battle for P9. Lewis is back through on Reese. What a battle between these two. Did Reese make a mistake? He's found himself 6 tenths behind Lewis. Here comes Vixen on tyres. How long can tyres manage them tyres for? Oh, that's a mistake. That is Vixen that made the mistake. No, it was Tyres that made the mistake in the Haas. Vixen's going to go down the inside. And Tyres makes another mistake. So does Vixen. Natmobile is going to capitalise. Vixen goes off. Tyres loses it. Natmobile gets pushed out wide. That penalty will be removed if he only has 3 warnings. Cars is through on Ariel, who gets another penalty as well. Very unfortunate for the Mercedes, who clatters into the back of the Alfa Tauri and pushes him wide, and he gets the penalty. It's getting very scrappy in the rain now, but I've got to say hats off to all the drivers here because it is very, very difficult around here in the rain. You've got to be absolutely on point. I can't see anybody taking that fastest lap off Henke now. He's still pulling away. That is a yellow flag. That is Sergio Silva. And I tell you, Henke does not want a safety car at this point in the race. Oh! Ariel just... It looked like he just purposely crashed into the wall there. And that has brought out a safety car, and that might have just ruined Henke's World Championship race. This has really mixed it up now. Wow, wow, wow. That was over another 3 seconds. Remember, Timmy has got a time penalty. Henke hasn't. Henke has got the fastest lap, but that fastest lap will probably get taken off him now, so he won't be crowned world champion. It might get taken off him anyway because the track tyres, they're going to have fresh tyres now, and the cars are going to be a lot lighter. So we shall see. What's going on, Doug? How you doing? What a race. Henke will definitely go into the pits. He's got 8 seconds to play with, plus Timmy's penalty. All the drivers will go into the pits. B right up to P4 as well. He's got a few drivers in front of him with penalties. He could be on for a podium, the current world champion. Imagine if B right, the current world champion, gets a podium and Henke wins the championship. And literally in the race interviews, they just pass the baton over and say, like, here's from one world champion to another. Oh, it'd be great. It'll be great. So they all pit. B right has already pitted the previous lap. He has the Williams of Ben Shorley behind him. Lewis is there. Reese is back up to P7. Fair play to Reese for carrying on, because I know he really didn't want to. And that's what I'm saying about drivers. If you carry on, there's always an opportunity to come back. So we're going to have an thrilling last 7 laps. That is Natmobile and Ty's just trading places. Ty's trying to get it back off him. I don't know what's happened there. It looks like Ty's is trying to get it back. Oh, Natmobile's just crashed into Merch as well. Tyres looks very frustrated there. It looks like Natmobile is purposely drove past Tyres, and Tyres is frustrated and trying to get it back. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, that is not allowed. If you do overtake under the safety car, there's big repercussions for that. So Tyres just doesn't need to lose his head here. Just stay behind. If he has deliberately overtaken you under the safety car, he will get a penalty at the end of the race anyway. A big penalty. Just don't lose your head over it. Oh, wow, what is that McLaren? Lagging into the wall there. Henke will lead the way again. Remember, on the last safety car restart, he was very, very quick. Safety car is in this lap. We're going to go back racing again. Here we go. The Alfa Romeo to lead the way. And slips his rears there. Timmy losing a little bit of pace out of the final corner. B-Right trying to stay on the back of Kazi, but he's got Ben Shawley right up his inside. The Williams and the Aston Martin wheel to wheel going down in towards turn one. The Williams later on the brakes. The Aston Martin gets pushed out wide from the Williams. Ben Shawley, no consideration for the driver behind him. Reese is round again. Reese is round again into the wall. Oh, what has happened? That 3 times in 24 laps. That is incredible. And I feel for Reese. I do. I feel for him. B-Right getting pushed completely wide from the Williams driver. The VSC is out. So, yeah, I know, Reese. I know. I don't even know what to say, mate. I really don't. Let's get them reports in and then we'll try and do our best. So, VSC is out, but Timmy is still looking on the back of Henke. Ah, I see, Reese. It's one of them days, mate. VSC is in. Timmy only 3 tenths behind Henke. B-Right on the back of Lewis. Lost a few positions from that Ben Shawley incident. Natmobile on the back of Ty Siesta. Sergio Silva. That is Cars that's through on Natmobile. And the Mercedes driver is onto gravel. No, he didn't. He lagged out and then he lunges down the inside of the McLaren. And Natmobile is lagging. I don't know if it's Cars lagging or Natmobile lagging. And the McLaren comes out just in front. The yellow flag is out. V10 Reese is just calling it a day here. And UFRL Merckx on UFRL Poem. What a nice little duo we've got there in P7 and P8 of the Gold Division. It's been a very tough race. A very tough race here today. It's pretty much what we expected with the rain coming down. But Lewis is in P5. What a drive from him. Timmy cannot catch up to Henke. He is 4 laps away from being crowned world champion for the very first time. B-Right in the Aston Martin is still chasing down Lewis in the Alfa Romeo. He's on the back of the Williams of Ben Shawley. Remember, Ben Shawley does have a time penalty, so these two will make up positions. If they don't fight amongst themselves, they could potentially even make up a position on Timmy if they work together here. B-Right still closing down on the Alfa Romeo in front. Will he look up the inside? The Alfa Romeo just shuts the door. That's Kazi front. Timmy is round. The Ferrari of Timmy is round. Did he have a collision with his teammate? I don't know. Kazi's up to P2, 2.5 seconds off Henke. Henke now has that safety net for being crowned world champion here in Australia. Henke sets another fastest lap of this race. He is putting it all on the line. The man from Norway could be the world champion in 4 laps time. B. Wright and Lewis are up to P4 and P5. They are basically fighting for a podium here as Ben Shawley has a time penalty. So Lewis and B. Wright fighting for a podium here in the gold division on lap 26 of 29. Merckx and Poem up to P6 and P7. Incredible. Timmy still in the points at the moment. He does not have damage. What a race we've got on our hands. Henke needed to get the race win and the fastest lap in a grid full of unbelievable drivers, and that's exactly what he is doing here. What an incredible battle. Poem, Merckx, Ties and Cars. The 2 Dutch drivers of Ties and Cars. The McLaren will try and go up the inside of the Haas driver who just blocks him off. The Haas driver will try and go up the inside of Merckx in the Red Bull. Bit of a lunge there from the Haas driver. And it opens the door for Cars to come through in the McLaren. The Ferrari of Timmy is going to try his move as well. Round the outside of turn 13. The Ferrari driver on the Haas down in towards turn 14. The Haas loses it. Clars into the Ferrari. They're both trying to hold on for dear life in the rain here. Lewis and B. Wright, they are on for a podium. That is Timmy, still going for a move on Ties. He's not being able to make it past him yet. Poem up to P6, what a drive. Cars on the back of that Red Bull. Is he going to go for it in towards turn 6 and 7? The McLaren driver gets a great exit on the Red Bull. The Dutch driver will go the long way round, even touches the grass. Here comes the Haas, here comes Timmy in the Ferrari. It's getting very tasty in the midfield, but no moves able to be making at the moment. Here comes Cars on the back of the Aston Martin of Poem and the Red Bull of Merckx. Timmy is there as well. Timmy gets a great exit out of turn 10. The Ferrari driver will go down the inside of the Haas. And Ties Siesta is down to P10. Timmy is up to P11. Merckx in the Red Bull has been overtaken by Cars in the McLaren, who chases down Poem in the Aston Martin. B. Wright is there fighting with Lewis for a podium here in Australia. 2 laps away, the man from Norway, CPI Henke, 2 laps from being crowned world champion. Sergio Silva's still cracking on. He's so good. Here comes Ties Chester on Timmy. The Haas driver is back up to P9, the season 6 world champion. Timmy watches on, struggling to fight back, and Timmy goes onto the grass. B. Wright 0.2 of a second behind Lewis. 1.5 laps to get that podium. Cars lunges down the inside of Poem in the Aston Martin, and the McLaren is up to P6. Aston down to P7. Timmy and the Ferrari is still there and thereabouts. 0.3 of a second is the gap between the Aston Martin of B. Wright and Lewis in the Alfa Romeo. Ben Shawley in the Williams in P3, but has a time penalty and will lose that podium coming to the end of lap 28. Kazi 4 seconds behind CPI Henke. Kazi in the Ferrari had a brilliant race here, but CPI Henke has been on another level. Who is going to be crowned world champion in just over 1 lap's time. Timmy in the Ferrari right on the back of the Aston Martin gets a good exit out of turn 10. We are going on to the very final lap of this race. Timmy goes down the inside of Poem, made a lunge, goes onto the gravel, and Poem says, "Thank you very much, I will take that right back off you." Merckx in the Red Bull on the back of Ties as well. What a thrilling battle to the end. Cars up to P6. It is so close here. B. Wright is 0.8 of a second away from Lewis. Oh my God! Oh my God! Henke is out! Henke has crashed on the very final lap of this Grand Prix. He is not going to be crowned world champion here tonight. Henke has crashed on the very last lap. He was barely a minute away from being crowned the world champion here in Australia. Why, oh why was he pushing like that? He will have to wait even longer, but Lewis and B. Wright are on for podiums. Kazi with a spectacular performance, the Ferrari driver, and Henke, who has binned it on the very final lap of this race. Kazi in the Ferrari is going to come through, and the Australia Down Under did not disappoint. It's Kazi that wins here in Melbourne. Ben Shirley will come through, but he does have a time penalty, which means Lewis, W, and B. Wright are podium sitters. Cars is out. Cars has crashed it on the final straight of this race. Wow. That is unbelievable. What an ending to this race we have just witnessed. Oh my God. There you have it on the top step. What a Grand Prix. What a race. Let's have a look at the final standings. So after Henke binned it on the very last lap of the Grand Prix, he will not be crowned world champion. Kazi, the man from Northern Ireland, wins here in Australia. Lewis in the Alfa Romeo takes P2, and B. Wright takes P3. Ben Shirley takes P4, Poem takes P5, Merckx takes P6, Tyes takes P7, Timmy takes P8, Sergio Silva in the points in the gold division, and Natmobile takes P10. Wow, wow, wow. I cannot believe that he threw it away. I cannot believe all he had to do was just get to the end of the lap. That was it. He didn't have to push. He didn't have to do anything. And he binned it on the very final lap, which means that he will not be crowned world champion this evening. How close was that from the man from Norway winning his first ever world championship? So we will jump into race interviews. I will just invite Lewis W as well. There we go. So we will start off with P3. It is the current world champion and still the current world champion after Henke bins it on the very final lap to throw away the championship. So our current world champion back on the podium, B. Wright. How was that one?
Vamos!
Vamos! What a race, mate. Talk us through that.
Yeah, really buzzing with that. That's just a typical race of just staying out of trouble and let all the race pace unfold. But it's been a long time coming to get a podium again with all these strong guys within the league now, within gold. This division is at the best it's ever been, and to even still think that I'm a world champion in this division is absolutely crazy, mate.
No, absolutely. And I cannot believe that, because you and Lewis were fighting for podiums, and for Henke was literally about to take your world championship off you, and on the very last lap bins it and gives you a podium.
Yeah, unbelievable. Obviously, you got to feel for Henke. He's having such a good season. I mean, I know he's going to win it. He knows he's going to win it. I think we all do. And I couldn't hand the crown over to any a better person, really. He's a great guy, great competitor, and yeah, just really unlucky today when he was flying out in the lead and really deserved that race win today.
Yeah, and just talking of your own race as well, Ben. Obviously, qualifying wasn't great, but
No.
your race pace and the battles that you had were incredible.
Yeah, qualifying always lets me down, I feel. I feel if I could qualify a bit higher, I would probably get better results in the race. I think that's always been the case for me, is not great in qualifying, but really, really strong in the race. And I just, yeah, held my own. Me and Lewis coming through. It's really nice to have a podium with Lewis because, as you know, me and Lewis get on really well. We party together
Yeah,
and speak and stuff. So for him to be in front of me getting a P2 is really good. But no, it's just delighted to be back on the podium. And I'm out in the Netherlands as well. I'm
yeah.
not really normally my setup, and I come in, get the podium with my Dutch family. So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's amazing, Ben, to be over in the Netherlands at the moment as well, and to have that support and have the support from Micah there as well, and to be back on the podium this season as well. It's just incredible. So congratulations on a fantastic performance, mate.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Nathan, and well done to Lewis and Casey as well. They had brilliant performances from them, even though it should have went in Hankey's favour. But yeah, I'm actually got a smile from ear to ear, and yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, well done. Cheers, Ben. Thank
Cheers,
you.
cheers, mate.
So we move on to your P2 driver. What a race. What a result. The man from England, Lewis. How are you?
Oh, let's go, mate. What a race.
What
Absolutely
a
chuffed for that
race.
one.
What a drive.
Chuffed.
It was incredible. You were just moving through the grid. You were battling. You had an amazing battle with Be Right. You were back and forth. Just talk us through that race.
I just kept the trouble when I noticed the carnage ahead. Just lifted off a little bit, just let it all unfold and just followed through, really. Just kept it nice and simple. Took the battles where I needed to take them and didn't take them where I didn't need to take them. So, yeah, really good.
And at the end there, Lewis, as well, at some point you've got to realise that Ben Shawley in front has got a time penalty. So you're literally racing for a podium because he's got a time penalty.
Yeah.
Is that in your mind when you're fighting with Be Right?
A little bit. I was just sticking behind him, really. I didn't think. I knew I had 3 laps to keep. I knew I could do it, so I kept it behind the other Ben, and I just kept my ERS for the last lap and made sure Ben couldn't catch up with me on the straights.
Yeah. Oh, the defending was incredible, and I think you started P12 on the grid.
Yeah, P12 to P2.
And B Right started P13, so you literally moved through the grid together.
Yeah, followed each other through.
Yeah. And it must have been great, obviously, being in a party together and getting that podium together, moving through the grid together. That must have been good as well.
So good, yeah. A little bit bittersweet, because obviously probably could have wrapped up the constructors today with a P1 and a P3 if Henke kept it on track, but I'm sure we won't have any issues going forward, so...
No, I think it's only a matter of time till your teammate wins the championship and you guys win the constructors.
Yeah.
But very unlucky for your
exactly.
teammate to bin it on the last lap there today.
Yeah, it is. It's nice for Ben though. He gets at least one more race to call himself the current world champion.
Exactly. So. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well,
there we go.
It was fantastic to watch, mate. It was an incredible performance from yourself in the Alfa Romeo. So congratulations on a well-deserved podium, Lewis.
Thank you so much, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, Lewis. Thanks, mate.
See ya.
There you have it, your podium sitters, Be Right and Lewis W. What a drive from the pair of them. It was a fantastic race to end with, and it couldn't have gone any better if you tried. It was so exciting. There was a few dramas, obviously, but yeah, it was really nice to watch. Stick around, guys, and just help us raid Patty. And just show the support from F7 for other streamers as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow night for Fantasy F7, and until then, thank you so much for the support that you guys keep showing for Formula 7. Honestly, we appreciate it so much, and I could not do it without the support of you guys. I couldn't do it without the support of the team and everybody that puts so much time and effort into Formula 7 racing, and the drivers, especially the drivers that turn up and race against each other and put on performance and displays like that. So thank you all so much. Have a good rest of the evening, and I will see you all tomorrow with Red Wildfire.